Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Disney Adventures 12-inch Tarzan. So yes, here we have Tarzan from the 12-inch version of the Disney Adventures series. There were several different size releases for that particular line. I've technically already reviewed these, but I reviewed them all in one big half-hour-long video, and I figured they deserved individual reviews. So I'm going to be reviewing these over the next week or two. And they are actually pretty cool 12-inch representations of male Disney characters. They were sort of aimed at boys to oppose the Disney princesses sort of stuff. And I'm starting with Tarzan because I think he's personally the best figure of them all. And Tarzan's also a really good movie as well. So, yeah, let's go ahead and zoom into the articulation, sculpt, paint details, all those sorts of things. Alright, starting off with a quick size comparison. Of course, here we have Tarzan. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Superior Spider-Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universal Wolverine. Tarzan, like I said, is a 12-inch figure. And, yeah, therefore he is much bigger than a 6-inch figure and 3 3/4-inch figure. He would probably work well with other 12-inch figures or 1/6 scale figures. And, of course, he's fairly in scale with the other 12-inch Disney Adventures series. Now, let's go ahead and get the other two out of here and just look at Tarzan. Alright, moving on to our 360 spin. Here you can see Tarzan. He is mostly his sort of tanned Caucasian skin tone because he's not really wearing much in the way of clothing. All of his muscle definition is sort of very thin muscle definition, but he does have defined abdominals and various other muscles and things like that. He has on a loincloth, which is a pliable, rubbery kind of material, and then he has his groin area is just painted brown underneath that to avoid nudity-looking things, I suppose. His hands are sculpted in gripping sort of poses for holding his accessories, and the nails are painted a slightly different color than his skin, make them look a bit better. And then he has really nicely sculpted feet down there at the bottom, and they also have the same nail painting. And his nipples are also painted darker than the rest of his skin tone, so that's also a thing. Now, let's go ahead and zoom in on that head sculpt. Alright, zooming in on the head sculpt, here you can see Tarzan's head, and it is done fairly well. The eyes are very nicely done, they're intense, and they have eyebrows above them, and then the nose looks good too. The mouth seems like it's a bit narrow. It should be like a bit wider, I think, because it looks a little bit weird, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is, although I'm not entirely certain if that's the case, but it seems like it's too narrow. The hair is sculpted fairly well. It has that sort of clumpy, almost dreadlock kind of look that Tarzan's hair has. It could use a bit of shading or something, but for the most part it looks pretty good. So yeah, it's a decent head sculpt. Not any huge issues with it, so I approve of it. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and look at some articulation. Articulation-wise, Tarzan is the best of the Disney Adventures series. He has a ball peg head, so that goes up and down a little bit, rotates, the hair gets in the way, but you can sort of move it around because it's flexible. Ball joint shoulders and an out forward and back, single joint elbow. He has a very nice ball joint in the wrist, so that rotates around and hinges in and out. Hinges at the hips, those go in and out forward and back. He has a diaphragm joint that doesn't actually do anything other than rotate, so it's kind of useless because he also has a waist cut. Then he has knee hinges, and these don't move far enough forward for him to stand up perfectly straight. I don't know if they did that on purpose, because Tarzan really doesn't stand up straight very often, but yeah, that's kind of an issue. And then he has nice hinges in the ankles. So his articulation is pretty decent, and you can get him into some pretty cool poses with his accessories. And speaking of his accessories, let's go ahead and look at those. Accessories-wise, Tarzan comes with 3 or 4, depending upon how you want to look at it. He has a spear back here. The wood grain on the detail is very nice. It has a little bit of grass, vine sort of stuff wrapped up here at the top. And then there's the spearhead, which has some nice cut stone detail to it. Looks pretty sharp. Very cool. He has a knife, which has a similar design, except the head is not nearly as nicely detailed, but the shaft's about equivalent, except it's a bit rounded. And then he has his vine here, which connects into one really long vine, or you could just use either piece of it if you don't need it to be that long. Has a little suction cup here, so you can stick it to glass or other smooth surfaces, and get him to hang around. It's pretty cool. Very nice little batch of accessories. Now that wraps it up for Tarzan and all of his accessories, so let's move on to the packaging. Packaging-wise, Tarzan comes in the standard for the 12-inch Disney Adventures series. You have a very nice big window here, and it has sort of a embedded in spear logo here. These are all specific for each character. +6 years, fully posable Tarzan action figure. Disney Adventures Tarzan. On the back you get the Disney Adventures logo, a little pitch of sort of what the figures are all about, and then a picture of each character that is available, which is Tarzan, Peter Pan, Hercules, Aladdin, and Captain Hook. I have all of these and I'll be reviewing all of them. As is always the case with windowed boxes, this is good for in or out of package display, so yeah, Tarzan. Alright, that wraps it up for Tarzan, so until next time, goodbye! Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye.